Hello, welcome back to your weekly energetic forecast. My name is Narayana Montufar. I am an astrologer, artist, and author who finds inspiration in the symbolic language of astrology. I am here to give you an update regarding the astrology between March 3rd and March 9th. I will speak about all the collective themes, but remember that everything feels differently for everybody. So if you are interested in figuring out how the astrology is affecting you or helping you evolve, I offer Akashic readings, astrology readings, and even readings that involve Egyptian cosmology. I would be delighted to guide you. But now I am going to talk about the energetic signatures of this week because it is a really important week. Last week, we talked about the new moon in Pisces and why I thought that it was a very positive new moon, even though Venus is retrograde. We talked about the retrograde of Venus starting on March 1st, so just 2 days after the new moon, because the new moon was last Thursday. And we are still under that energy in many ways. We are in Pisces season. We had the new moon there, so we are flowing. A lot of water energy is currently permeating the sky. So there's a lot of energy that is asking us to focus on the non-tangible side of life. This isn't like the most productive of energies. This is about getting deeper into creativity, into mysticism. We are reviewing relationships. We are perhaps thinking about changes in relationships. We're also being inspired to forgive and forget. That is what Piscean energy is all about. And we are also focusing on a lot of the ending of cycles. Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. And with Pisces and many Aries activations, Venus went retrograde in Aries and Mercury is going to go retrograde in Aries. So we are closing timelines, we're beginning new timelines, and you're probably going to start feeling that this week. There are not a lot of astrological aspects this week, but we are getting closer to the first eclipse of 2025. Next week, there will be a full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo. So even though this week isn't totally packed, there aren't a lot of astrological aspects, you could already receive news. You could already be experiencing a great amount of change in your life because in astrology, not everything happens exactly on the day. We are technically in eclipse season because the sun is in Pisces, traveling in the same zodiac sign where the North Node of destiny is. Eclipses bring moments of acceleration. We're going to talk about this next week a little deeper, but I do want you to know that the energy is accelerating. Change, destiny, fate, all of those words are active already this week. But since there's not a lot happening in the sky besides that, I invite you to rest. Rest more. Focus on taking breaks, focus on spending time in nature, meditating more, eating healthy, because the more you take care of your body, starting this week, the easier the next few weeks will be. This is particularly true on Monday, that the moon is traveling through Taurus. When the moon travels in Taurus, the moon is exalted. That's what astrologers call it. An exalted moon means that a lot of our focus is on our bodies, on like eating delicious food, on resting a little more, on pleasure. Venus is retrograde, so you are already realizing that a lot of the things that bring you pleasure are shifting. So that is going to be on your mind most likely on Monday and Tuesday. Mercury enters Aries on Monday, and Mercury is going to go retrograde next week on March 15th. So you see, things are already starting to become more apparent. You're going to get messages, emails, texts, news around what this eclipse season means for you, or also what the retrograde of Mercury will mean for you. So stay very watchful of signs, messages on Monday, because even though Mercury is not retrograde yet, it is going to go retrograde on March 15th. On Wednesday and Thursday, the moon travels through Gemini, and the energy picks up because Gemini is a very lively zodiac sign. It is about communication. It is about the delivery of messages. In mythology, Mercury was the messenger of the gods, delivering all the information. So you see, there's a lot of incoming information in your life concerning what the new era means for you. Remember, 2025 is a year of massive astrological shifts. When we're closing cycles, beginning new cycles. So we are getting information around that. Pay attention. On Thursday, we have the first quarter moon phase. Since we had a new moon last Thursday, this Thursday we have the quarter moon phase, and this quarter moon phase in Gemini is leading to the eclipse. And if you set intentions also during the last new moon, which some astrologers say not to set intentions during eclipse season, some things just begin. Some things just will naturally begin. Well, during this quarter moon, you might hit a snag. You might hit like a crisis moment or a mini crisis moment during which you might feel like things are not falling into place exactly as you had thought or not exactly as planned. Keep going. Quarter moons are intense, and you might need to make some adjustments. We're talking about an energy here that is mutable, that is asking you to shift your mindset, shift your gears. And the good news is that where the moon is happening, which is Gemini, Gemini energy is malleable, it is shifty, it adapts, and you can adapt this week to the changes that are coming up for you. If you have any planets in the mutable signs like Gemini, Virgo, Pisces, or Sagittarius, you are going to be feeling this quarter moon more intensely than the rest of us that do not have planets in those signs. This is why it's helpful to know your chart. On Friday, Saturday, and half of Sunday, the moon is traveling through Cancer. And this is a fantastic time to spend time with the ones you love. Cancer is the zodiac sign that rules family or your chosen tribe, and it rules cooking and mothering and family and ancestry. And because right now during eclipse season, which is one of the most spiritual and magical times, even though it is one of the most charged times of the entire year, this would be a fantastic time to reconnect with your ancestry, to download messages from your spirit guides or those who have passed. And the weekend really brings that energy of just guidance from above. Overall, Pisces season is a mystical time, and especially with the North Node in Pisces, we are so many of us are becoming super psychic right now. We are being guided by spirit. I invite you to focus on that this weekend. On Friday, there is a beautiful connection between the sun and Mars, the sun in Pisces and Mars in Cancer. That's why I'm talking about ancestry and all of this mothering kind of archetype energy, even though Mars is the planet of masculine energy. In Cancer, it means that so many of the things that changed between the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025 are starting to fall into place. Mars was retrograde between December 6th and February 23rd. That was a massive transformation that so many of us experienced. And now you are getting a little bit more awareness around why those changes needed to happen, about why those endings were imminent, or around what no longer feels right for you to focus on and what is starting to look like is becoming more important in your life. This is water energy, it's creative energy. And it is inviting you to start visualizing a new future for yourself. Water energy is healing. So maybe if you had a fallen down with somebody or a breakup during the Mars retrograde, or if things just went south in a certain way during that time, this could mean that things are picking back up. This would be a great time to reach out to somebody who matters to you, for example, because the energy was really intense. There was a lot of anger being processed, anger from the past being processed during that time, December, January, and February. So Mars is giving you the opportunity to pick things back up, make them better from a place of compassion, if that is what feels right to you. That energy is still going to be active on Saturday because the moon in Cancer is going to activate Mars. And the moon changes signs on Sunday at around 3 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Pacific time. The moon enters Leo. And we know that Leo is even more lively than Gemini. Leo is loud. And this moon in particular feels loud, but in a different way because the moon is going to oppose Pluto. So Sunday looks like an intense day, if not the most intense of the entire week after Thursday. Because when the moon opposes Pluto, I don't know about you, and I invite you to think about that because this is something that happens once a month. That's how you're able to figure out what your patterns are and how you respond to the astrology. When Pluto is activated, now Pluto is in Aquarius, so it's behaving completely different than the way it has behaved in the past 15 years. I have a video about Pluto in Aquarius on my YouTube, which can be extremely helpful when it comes to figuring out what Pluto in Aquarius means for you. But when Pluto is activated, in my case, I just feel really tired. I feel like I don't want to be around people. I feel like I need to be focused on something. Pluto is the planet of psychology, obsession, transformation, and darkness, but it's not like bad darkness. It can feel like that, but it is darkness that eventually takes you to light. So I invite you to watch what comes out for you at around 4 p.m. Pacific time, or even for the rest of the day as Pluto becomes supercharged in the sky. Pluto is the shaman, the witch, the therapist, the alchemizer that transforms shadow into light. So that's it. for this week. Next week is one of the most important weeks in the entire year. We have the first eclipse season. Well, we are in eclipse season. We have the first eclipse of 2025 happening in Virgo. And on this same week, we have Mercury going retrograde while Venus is already retrograde. So next week is going to be one of the most important ones. It is a transformative week. It is a time during which a lot of the new energies are going to be cemented. A lot of the new energies of 2025 and even into 2026 are going to be cemented. So if you want to get all the astro tea, come and hang out with me. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.